Hi everybody, I'm Allard.
I'm Colleen.
And this is Stuff Dutch People Like. Brand new episode.
It is.
And a special one because we have a guest. Henry van Loon.
Hello everybody, my name is Henry van Loon.
Yes. And Henry, tell us a little bit about yourself because you are working as an actor, also singer, comedian, right?
Yeah, well my main source of income, what I do most is theater. It's a one-man show, in Holland we call it cabaret. But it's sort of stand-up comedy, but with a little differences. We do more songs, not just the mic and the stool and the glass of water. We do more like, some scenes and some funny bits and more music, and it's an hour and a half, whereas stand-up comedy mostly is 50 minutes or something like that.
You're working in comedy, and what is interesting about that, it's like because you are working in Dutch comedy, we're going to talk a little bit about what is typical Dutch humor.
I've got opinions.
And Colleen has opinions about Dutch humor, and we want to know your thoughts about it. Maybe you start because you are a very opinionated
you're gonna
woman.
Put me on the spot.
Yeah.
No, my whole thing was when I first moved here, I was like, Dutch comedy is too basic. It's like about having sex and it's about poo. Like I think all the comedians I watched, I was like, where is this kind of, I love British comedy. So I'm like, where is the wit, the sarcasm, the like cleverness?
Yeah.
And I will say, and this is not to feed you with compliments, that I will admit I watched your comedy for the first time last night. So, because I'm not really familiar, Allard always laughs, but I have no context of like Dutch culture, right? So like of who Dutch famous people are, or I just have a blank slate. But I watched it, and I have to say, it did change my opinion on Dutch comedy because I found your humor almost British.
Yeah.
Like it was, have there been comparisons about your humor being close to British humor?
Yeah. I was sort of brought up with Tommy Cooper and the Plank.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You know that?
Yes, of
What's his name?
course.
The movie.
Yeah. De Plank bedoel je toch? That short movie.
It was like a really old duo, I guess.
Yes.
And they made the Plank. It's like sort of
That is
slapstick.
so fun. We had it on video. We watched it thousands of times.
Me too. Yeah. So and I was also brought up with the Marx Brothers and
Oliver and Lauren Hardy also.
Yeah, Lauren Hardy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But British later on, of course, the names.
Monty Python.
Monty Python very much, and Daar komen de schutters.
Yeah, Dad's Army. Yeah.
Dad's Army, Madam Bucket. You know.
Oh, there's so much.
Bucket. Yeah.
So I watched that a lot. I saw that a lot, and also what I So and I always have a sort of a deadpan face.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you can really play it in the serious way that people are like, what? Is this serious? What is he saying? And that's a big laugh here. I think you know what typical Dutch humor is, that they lay it very thick on it. It's a bit like
I think that's all I saw
they
when I
play
first
the
moved
joke
here. It was
a bit too much.
Over, yeah, and it was maybe, and I think maybe I was watching the wrong people. So I had this, preconceived idea that it was more like, just a little too basic. I was like, where's that second layer?
Yeah, but it's really, of course, because of the culture. In Britain, they don't say as much, the famous thing where they're like, I'll look into that, and the answer is no.
Right.
So they play with that, of course, and they can't say as much, or they can't come out and say, wow, fuck you everybody, or something like that, because it's not done. So they have to work around it, and that's where the wittiness also comes from, I guess. And in Holland, of course, we're very blunt and very outspoken and very like, I don't want to go there. So the humor matches that.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I've never thought of it that way, but yeah. Maybe I wasn't used to Dutch culture when I first watched Dutch humor, so I did find it too blunt. I found it like too harsh, a little bit almost aggressive.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's because now I know so much more about how the Dutch communicate that I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, well, for us, Dutch communication, like having a small talk here is complaining towards each other.
Yeah.
If the sun is out, if it's raining, it doesn't matter. We love to complain. So a lot of, I think, Dutch comedy is in the complaining sense. But you also see that in America or in England. But this is a typical Dutch thing to do. And also, like what you said, we love to talk about our poo. We do love to talk about shit.
Especially, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm very
enough.
proud of being
we
the
travel
poor.
with
Yeah.
Allard, and I have to hear about his bowel movements every morning.
Yes,
I'm like,
that's
I
what
don't
you do.
allow that with my husband. So I
No,
do
but
not.
that's cozy over breakfast. That's cozy.
Yeah, love it.
And we also don't have as much, we call them heilige huisjes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you talk about religion or
Yeah.
something, or you can...
We don't have holy houses like what you mean is like
Sort of no-go
you can talk
areas.
about
You can
everything.
almost, exactly.
Abortion, it's all
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
we can talk about, and you can... It's getting a little bit less now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have, with the cancelling culture we also have in Holland, sometimes things are being torn out of context and they try to... but it's in a show you can talk about...
Yeah.
Is that difficult for you now with the, we in the woke era now?
Yeah, it's the question I get the most, and I don't know. I don't know. It's something I don't really think about. I'm not trying to insult people.
Yeah.
Or be like really how do you call it? Dat je wil chockeren. Like
No, to shock. No, you don't want to shock.
No, I just want to have them have a great night and be away from the problems for an hour.
Laughing about yourself is the best, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still can say anything. But when it's just as simple as when you say something that is that you want to say about someone and just insult them, of course you can get a reaction.
Have you, because most of your comedy is in Dutch, like in the Dutch language, have you done comedy in English before?
Yeah, I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Okay.
In Edinburgh, in Scotland. And it was really short though in a comedy lineup, but it was really nice, really an adventure and really cool. But it's so hard to, and I thought about, maybe I have some contacts in New York or some people who would be able to get me a spot somewhere in the comedy club, but I'm always and of course I would be able to be the Dutch guy and says, hello, I'm from Holland, and I could get a few laughs, and of course.
To translate your material in English.
But really the things that I do, as you said, thank you for the compliment, which has, I think, layers and things that I don't mean, but still say, absurd comedy, stuff like that. That's so hard to translate because the language barrier, it's so subtle and so... And I also think Dutch people don't really get English or American, British or American humor because they don't see the slight differences or the way people talk or the specific words they choose in their context and with the history of the country. It's so hard to really get it.
You played in an Oscar-nominated Dutch short film, and that's also a pretty dark comedy. It's drama, but it's also humor. And that what I loved about it. The movie is called "I'm Not a Robot." Yeah. Really funny and also really gritty. It was like a short. It had a Black Mirror feel to it. Yeah. Like, it really gets to your throat. So congratulations with the nomination.
Thank you.
And to have a little bit gossip, there is a chance that you are probably going to be at the Oscars.
I'm attending.
Attending.
Yes. Well, I have to say, there's another short movie that's called I'm Not a Robot, but this one is, I saw, but it's this one is from Victoria Warmerdam, she's the director, and Ellen Parn.
She's the lead actress, you play her boyfriend.
Smaller part, but nevertheless the short film is nominated. And it's shot on film, so that's really cool.
That's why it looked so good.
Yeah, not digital, but
It did look beautiful. That's
Yeah.
the first
celluloid,
thing
yeah,
I noticed
was
was it
great.
looks
The
beautiful.
cinematography was really good,
Yeah.
and also you guys played it so well. The direction was also so brilliant, and you guys never went over the top. You just stayed underneath it, and that worked so well.
Thanks.
Because in Dutch acting, sometimes you can, if you don't have the good direction or you have an actor who does not understand, you can easily go over it, and then it's like, ugh. You're a comedian. And you're from one of the coziest places in the Netherlands called Brabant.
Yes.
Can you say this in English?
Brabant.
Oh, no, okay, that's
Yeah,
not a
I got
difficult
good
word.
no?
Brabant is in the south of the Netherlands and it's known for, you know, like a couple of things. And one of the things I found so interesting about Brabant, that I'm not from there, but it feels like a little island on its own in the south of the Netherlands. And that, you know, the rest of the Netherlands surrounding it always has a little bit with Brabant, like, oh gosh, oh, you're from Brabant.
Oh,
yeah. There's always
But is it a negative? Are people like, ooh, you're from Brabant?
not really negative, but there is this sense of,
Yeah?
a little
That's
bit.
positive.
It is. It can be positive, but also like you have the Brabantse gezelligheid,
Okay.
and that's a different gezelligheid than the Netherlands, because it's like a more uplifting coziness and gezelligheid than the rest of the Netherlands. So the rest of the Netherlands sometimes can have like, oh, there you have the Brabanders with their gezelligheid.
Oh, yeah? Okay. All of this sort of cultural, it all confuses me. All I know about Brabant was that people have a soft G. Because when I first started speaking Dutch, people would make fun of me and they'd be like, oh, you sound like you're from Brabant with that G. Because I couldn't do a and then everyone always says Brabanters are quite friendly. But that's what you mean by
Friendly,
gezellig?
it is gezelligheid. And it's of course you have the bossenbollen, the worstenbroodjes.
Of course, that is like in your description. Allard only talks about snacks on this podcast.
It is important. But, and you know, of course, the zachte G, you don't really have the soft G anymore.
No, I moved to Amsterdam when I was 18 and sort of got beaten out in theater school. And I sort of, maar ik kan nog zeker Brabants praten. Het is een beetje zo.
Does it come back when you go back to Brabant? Does it easily come back to you?
Yeah. When I'm at home, gezelligheid is gezelligheid.
Oh, it
It's
is
softer.
much softer.
It's softer.
I like it better though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it sounds much nicer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you say some more G words?
Gezelligheid. Gaan we dadelijk naar de glijbaan.
Oh, yeah. See, that's so much nicer. I feel like it interferes when you're.
It's also my voice, I think. I've really.
Now, is the Netherlands, you know, we have so many dialects and accents. And it's really funny because this is such a small country. But within, you know, like 10 miles, somebody can already have another accent or dialect.
It was crazy. Once I watched the television, and there was somebody being interviewed on the news, somewhere in Brabant. I didn't see Brabant. I didn't see, and I sort of was listening, and I heard that person say, "Nou ja, ze zijn hier natuurlijk geweest, en dat was heel heftig." En toen dacht, she's from Oorschot. Oorschot, the little village where I come from, and I was right because then turns out they were in the village where I come from, so it was really specific. And 10 kilometers that way you have just another accent,
Which is so bizarre because it's literally like down the road. Someone talks differently.
Yeah.
It's like all the villages have different dialects and accents.
But it's quite incredible that that's remained. Because if you look at like countries that have like further geographical distance, like from where I'm from, you drive 8 hours and someone still sounds the same.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like 10 minutes and there's,
But it is funny though, you're from Brabant and even in Brabant there are different accents.
Yes, lots. Yeah. You have Oorschot, a tiny village I live in. It's between Tilburg and Eindhoven. And Tilburg is a world of difference with Eindhoven, the dialects.
The dialects also. Wow.
Well,
so not just the accent, but also like...
I mean the same.
Oh, same. Okay.
Dialects, accents.
Because there's certain There's also certain different kinds of words, right?
I have sort of a knack for language, so I don't think many people of my age know this still, living in Brabant now. I think a lot do still. But bijvoorbeeld kruiwagen, it's a wheelbarrow.
Oh, okay.
Kruiwagen.
Kruiwagen.
Where I'm from, they call it kreugen.
Kruigen.
What's it called? A perzik is called
Peach.
Yeah.
merketon.
Sorry.
Merketon.
Really? Where
That
did
sounds
come
like French.
from?
Sometimes it sounds a little bit like German, but this is like a French word.
A fork is a vork.
Dat weet jij toch niet?
Maar in Brabants is het verket.
Verket? That's a fork.
Vork is een verket.
How do you greet each other?
Hoi.
Hey. Not howdy? Howdy. Is a
Nee,
howdy?
howdo is when you go, is howdo.
Howdo?
How do?
But there is one thing especially where Brabant is known for, and to come back to the comedy part, and that's carnival.
Yeah.
And when I said it to you, we have to do an episode where we talk also about carnival. Your answer
I
was
blank. Yeah, I have zero context. Like, I think, this sounds dumb, but I think I lived in this country for maybe 3-5 years, and I had no idea that Carnival was celebrated here. So when people talked about Carnival, I really literally was like, oh, Rio. That's what they're talking about. I had no idea that Europeans had Carnival. And I still have no context. I've never been, my kids don't have any context of it either.
What is Mardi Gras?
I've been to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras
Yeah.
is like in Louisiana.
It's a similar time, of course, with
Yeah,
all
true.
all the festive and holidays are either the birth of Christ or oogstfeest, how do you call it? Harvesting.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And Mardi Gras is the beginning of fasting. Carnival is traditionally speaking the party, the festiveness that you have before you go into weeks of soberness and soberness.
Ja, hoe noem je
Yeah,
dat? Vasten?
Fasting.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But that's interesting because actually Mardi Gras is like translates to Fat Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's similar.
it's like, eating all the things before.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you
Carnival
think...
is sort of feast of the meat, carne, meat, something like that.
And it's a huge thing in Brabant. And it takes place like over 3 days or a long weekend or a week, something like that.
Yeah, I haven't been that much because I'm famous and I couldn't.
But you
the
dress up. You do
costumes.
costumes with carnival.
Won't that be so liberating? You could go there in
maybe a
full
mask or
costume.
something.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
that. Of course, I'm gonna drink a lot of beer and then I have
Yeah.
to put.
He is
myself-
famous though. He is very
No,
famous.
I'm just joking.
No, but
No,
are
you're
you? No, but let's go back to that because I'm curious. Are you famous on the street where people bother you?
I don't mind, but I do get a lot of looks. And in Amsterdam, everybody's sort of used to seeing the occasional. I hate the fact that I'm famous or calling myself famous. I don't get used to that ever.
No.
But it made you not to participate in Carnival
Carnival.
Festival anymore.
Also, I'm just getting old. And when I was young, I used to drink a lot. I still do, but in another way. But then I went on Friday.
Yeah.
Which wasn't an official carnival holiday, but there was this one bar in the village where I'm from, town, where I was from, and it was packed with all the people from the village and all the, how do you say, you have dweilorkesten. Ken je niet
No,
dweilorkesten?
what is that?
Dweilorkesten die gaan een soort van dweilen, heet dat. Oh, they go dweiling, I don't know the translation.
What is dweiling?
Sounds like a great word.
Like brass bands, but small, with a saxophone, 3 trumpets, and a tuba, and they go from bar to bar, and they get drinks, and they do all this hum, hum, hum.
Super fun.
And so you're in the bar, and the DJ is,
Yeah.
it's all stuff like this. It's terrible.
Is this where the Polonaise comes in also?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
And you have also this stupid dance where you have a circle of people and you go like this and then like that. So you have this and then we come to another and then the people and it's so stupid.
Explain what is Polonaise.
Polonaise is just people walking behind each other with the
Holding each other's shoulders.
hands on each shoulders.
And we walk in a line
Yeah.
on the rhythm of the music.
Right. So it's a bit like the American Canadian Congo line, but that's more do 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 boo.
Oh, it is a bit similar, yeah.
But this,
Yeah.
we don't have the
But this is
or
no,
the
you're
accent.
just
is
like
yeah.
Oh, for me, that really reminds me of like these older family parties.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so old-fashioned,
Yeah.
but it is.
I saw it at a wedding the first time I went to a Dutch wedding. And I
Yeah,
was
but then
confused.
that's probably like an
I was
older.
confused.
weird.
I really thought it was just that group of people. I was like, oh, this is their thing.
You will not really see this in the city, though. The Polonaise. That is
I
really
don't
like.
know, maybe in a brown bar you might.
Yeah,
right?
maybe in a brown bar. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
At 1 in the morning.
But I think I'm now sitting thinking maybe the positive thing about the Polonaise is it is a way to get everybody
Yeah,
into you.
that's.
Yeah.
When you're in the Polonaise,
Yeah.
you try. I will get you and.
It
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
you like feel more like a group. You know, it's
one
it's
that's-
the
yeah.
the
And
you
the
get-
one that's on the front just picks people come and you
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to get everybody in.
And what I liked about it, because now I have seen it a few times at weddings and stuff, is that I do think the Dutch, again, this is all stereotypes, but the Dutch do have a hard time being like warm with strangers. But
Yeah.
like you said, the Polonaise
Yeah.
is immediately like this warmth and connection, right?
Yeah.
And, then
And
you're
maybe
all
that's the
bonded.
thing what the other parts of the Netherlands find difficult with carnival, because it's an explosion of people, strangers, that everybody gets together and everybody is with each other, and that the other part of the Netherlands is like, oh man, this is too much, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. But that's what I like about King's Day was I felt like King's Day is a very unifying event in the
Yeah.
Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody's equal, everybody's together. And when I was doing a little research on Carnival, it also talked about how Carnival has its like traditions and also like social inversions where like,
Yeah.
you know, nobody's in charge. There's no hierarchy. Everybody is like the same.
Yeah.
And also satire,
Yeah.
which I think it's kind of interesting that like one province celebrates satire. Why do you think that is? Like, would you say Brabant has a more comedic history, or is this something that's
It's sort of has to do with the Catholic thing. I think that the south of Holland is more
Yeah,
Catholic.
it is more
or
Catholic
That
in
is
that
true.
area.
It's
Yeah.
a Catholic
Yeah.
tradition.
Yeah.
But you have a Prince Carnival. You have a Prince of Carnival, and he has this sort of disciples or his crew, and then and a sort of wingman, and he has this really
The head of a joker?
sort of a joker
Oh,
hat.
like a
Joker
jester.
hat? A jester
it's
hat?
called,
Yeah.
it's called a stake, and it's like this. It's flat, and you have like 3 points
yes.
with really large feathers of a peacock.
Oh, funny.
To do it in English, you sort of get a distance to it, and it's
Exactly.
like, wow.
This is absurd.
But it's really cool. And he gets the key to the city. So for 4 or 5 days, he gets.
He's going to be the mayor
the
of.
ruler. Yeah.
Yeah, but all with a
And is
little bit
he-
of a wink.
But is
Yeah,
he
of course.
he's elected? Like how do you pick him?
Yeah, he's elected. You have these carnavalsverenigingen, like
Association.
associations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have multiple ones, right?
Yeah, and it's a social thing where they throughout the year they are planning carnival, making costumes, stuff like that, making the big praalwagens, the
The parades.
Parade.
Yeah,
Cars.
floats.
It's-
yeah.
and make beautiful costumes and as well have a sort of a theme like no more garbage disposals in our country, in our village, or like politically themed things.
And is it also like every village has its own Prince Carnival, right?
You
Or
have
is there
multiple.
one? You have multiple ones.
Yeah, but with you have multiple associations, but they all pick. I'm not sure, but they all pick one Prince Carnival from one who is the ultimate prince.
Oh, and that's
Were
the
you ever
competition.
a prince, Henry?
No. But I did win prizes with my
With your outfit.
with my outfit. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's another big thing. I was like, why do people dress up? And because this is a heathen, is that
Yeah.
a heathen party? And the Catholics were like, no, we don't want this anymore. The dressing up part was like, now nobody can recognize me, so I can secretly participate
I could be a
in the
drunk
carnival
slob.
festival, you
Yeah.
know? And it's a little bit, because you said you never went to carnival. I
No.
had carnival on elementary school, so in a way, I
Okay.
celebrated carnival each year on
Yeah,
elementary school, and that was also in other parts in the Netherlands.
So it's a bit like Halloween.
It's a bit like Halloween,
Yeah.
so you know your dressing up parts,
I know
right?
that. Yeah. I'm a Halloween fanatic. So and we like we were a big Halloween family. Like my parents would make haunted houses and like terribly terrifying things in our front lawn, and we all dressed up for school and then for trick-or-treating, and and then when you get older it becomes slutty Halloween.
Slutty Halloween.
That's with carnival as well.
Yeah. It's
What
also
was your
slutty
most?
costume.
What is your most slutty costume that you wore at Carnival?
It was a. I always did mashups.
What is that?
Yeah, like
like
mix.
two things.
Oh
two
yeah,
things
you
mixed
you mixed, yeah.
But I had this from the Macro, which is a sort of a big. They had carnival costumes, but I think I was 18 years old or 19, but it was called Arabic Princess. Sort of a pink, purplish.
Jasmine.
Like jasmine
Yeah.
with the
Oh,
puffy
no.
sleeves. But it was a child's size, and I wore some stockings underneath, and I mixed it with a First World War pilot. So I had the pilot, the leather hat, and big mustache and glasses.
Oh.
That was really weird.
Disturbing. Very,
That was disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was skinny then, and it was this tall, pinkish.
You were like a walking stick, so you could fit in a toddler's costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the girls.
And was this the one you won an award for, or no?
No. That was way back when I really was a kid, and my mom would help
That
me.
was
make
as a kid to do a weird mashup.
No, when you're a kid, it's you're just this one thing. or
Okay.
something, Yeah.
Yeah. I had one Halloween costume where, I don't even know the year. I want to say like 1999 maybe. I was 19. Batman Returns. Was that the one where Michelle Pfeiffer was Catwoman? And that incredible latex catsuit with like all the stitches. And I found out that in my city they film a lot of movies there. So for some reason in the costume inventory of this big costume store, they had one Michelle Pfeiffer latex outfit. So that was by far my...
How the hell did you
You literally
get
had
in?
to be like poured into it.
How many
It
people
took,
helped
me
you?
and my mom and dad, and then my mom was very concerned that I wasn't going to be able to pee all night, and she was like, "You're going to be drinking and you won't be able to pee," because like it took 3 of us to get it on. But that costume was incredible. However, my boyfriend at the time left because the costume was like fucking bees to honey. It was some sort of male fetish, and he got annoyed and left. And then I actually had to leave an incredible party early, Allard, because I could not fend off the men.
You were too slutty.
No, but it was just, it was a hot costume.
Yeah.
Also physically hot. Latex is hot.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah, so there's my, it's embarrassing because I did a lot of slutty. My aunt sewed me a nurse's costume when I was 5, and then I don't know what possessed me as 18 to wear the 5-year-old nurse
Oh
costume.
my God, that's a thing that you can connect with.
So it was also, it was like silly slutty.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
That's also
there
the
you
joke
go.
about carnival nowadays is also you get a lot of STDs, because everybody.
A lot of people get pregnant and get STDs
So
after
it's like-
Carnival.
It's like
There's the-
chlamydia central. Okay.
Can you explain to our audience what a bossebol is?
Yes, of course. A bossebol is it's called after the city. It was
Den Bosch.
well, it was invented, I guess, or something. If it is true, I guess it is true. Of course, Den Bosch. You have the right to your bossebol. And it's like a pastry, puffy thing, like
A round ball.
yeah, a round ball, like a soesje, like a little soes with slagroom erin.
Yeah.
But it's hollow. Inside is a lot of whipped cream,
Yeah.
and then it's covered in chocolate.
Girl,
Oh,
And it's big?
It's this
it's
big.
it's
Oh, wow,
really
'cause
big.
Sushis are
And
normally
it's-
like cream puffs and they're
Yeah,
tiny.
cream puffs. Yeah.
When
it's a
we,
big cream puff.
drive by
Covered in chocolate.
Brabant, it's always you have to, it's really like, oh my God, you have to get, and there are really like places there, like they have the best ones, and then lines are outside,
Yeah.
It is, I got one of those bossenbollen as a Christmas ornament from a friend of mine who lives in
Just want to
Den
crack
Bosch.
it open with your teeth.
It is so good. It is,
I gotta try one
and
of
really
those.
fattening, and I love that. Okay, Henry, we got some questions for you. We're gonna do a quiz to end this episode.
We're not finished. Did I tell enough about carnival?
What do we want to know more about
I
it?
think the quiz you can tell a bit more.
Okay.
Because I think we've got some more. Yeah. It's
And I
mostly-
got some questions here. Do you want to do the first one? Because we want to check your knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he really know what he's talking about?
Yeah, do you really know? Did we get the right...
Experts.
Yes.
Let's find out.
What color is the carnival flag?
The carnival flag.
Oh, it's starting badly.
There is a carnival flag, Henry.
For the whole of the Brabant, I know the Den Bosch one.
Okay, tell us that.
Red, yellow, and white.
No, it's red, yellow, and green.
That's what we heard.
This is really disappointing.
He's starting off on
Can
a
you show
wrong
me the
foot.
carnival flag?
Show you.
It's red, yellow, and green. And
Yeah.
where does the red stand for?
but
This is
Henry's gonna
this
leave
is
us. He's gonna walk
embarrassing.
out.
The red is for the normal earthly things. The yellow is the color of comedy, and the green the color of life.
He's
I
shaking his
never
head
heard
at you,
this.
Allard.
You never heard of
no,
it?
no one that lives in Brabant knows this.
What is the fool's number that is significant for carnival?
11.
Yeah, what is up with that? Why is that the fool's number?
Let's
Do you know
ask
that?
Henry.
I don't
No?
know. 13 is bad luck. 7 is good luck. You have these things. I don't know. It must be
between.
something biblical.
Yeah.
And the 11th of November, carnival starts.
Okay.
The cycle begins. Something. The people come together, choose their prince of that year, and they start, if they haven't already, making the parade.
On 11/11.
Yeah, 11th of
okay.
November. They come together, drink a lot of beer. Always a good excuse, and they start their thing.
Back to carnival. Are you gonna be there this year?
I don't think so, because I will be attending the Oscars.
Oh, twirl your hair back when you say stuff like that.
Attending the Oscars, so I don't think I'll
Fancy.
find the time. It's kind of a lot to do with
And
the
it-
Oscars.
It's a long time ago that you were there, probably.
Yeah, it was. And last time I found myself, I was again a mashup of things. I was a panda and sort of punk 90s neon faced dancers stuff. And I found myself lying in an alley with too much to drink with,
Oh, God.
with a dead battery, and I just woke up at 2 o'clock and thought, where am I?
Oh,
But how does it work there? Because
This.
like everybody
That's
is
how it
drinking
works.
for a week, and then you have to go back to work and normal life. That
Yeah.
must be horrendous.
so you mean the party is many nights in a row?
It is in yeah.
It is, I think, Saturday through Tuesday, but where I'm from, you have these different things. But where I'm from, we used to go from Friday to Wednesday evening. And
That's
also you went Friday
hardcore.
night, and then Saturday morning you started again with, you go to a parade or some party somewhere, and you started drinking through the night. And then Sunday you went to your hometown where they had the parade with the cars, and you had a beer while watching the parade. And it was like 6 days non-stop drinking.
What's your best memory of carnival? Or are there too many to pick?
Well, I will say that the best memory is my dad was in a band. My dad had a band, and back in the day when you had a wedding, you had a band. What's it called? A band?
Yeah, band.
A band.
Yeah.
Cover band, stuff like that. And now, of course, they have a DJ because it's much cheaper. And but he when I was young, when I was a kid, every weekend he would have a wedding there, and he was in the band. He was a singer and played the piano. And with carnival, he had this. They transformed themselves to a carnival band. So they did boom, 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 did all that songs, and my dad was dressing up and was doing crazy stuff, you know, like Jerry Lewis, and sort of the comedian timing I got from him, and the weird faces. And so we went to this pub, and they were playing all of the afternoon and all of the night. It's the carnival music, and like really making a big party, and dressing up and do crazy goggles and stuff like that. That's one of my warmest memories, when I got to saw my dad, you know,
Yeah.
of course.
Nice.
And I also learned a lot from him, I think, and entertaining the whole of the audience with them.
And then you were like younger, like seeing like, wow,
I was
he's
6,
taking
7, 8,
yeah, he was taking the stage, you know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my dad, you know, he was, that's a good film.
Yeah, and he had the Tommy Cooper, the Fez, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And also singing the woo.
I want to end with a few questions about Dutch culture, because I think you've probably been interviewed a bajillion times, but I don't think anyone's necessarily talked to you about what it means to be Dutch. And so I'm curious, do you think like there's traits of you, we talked about your comedy a bit, but are there traits where you say, oh yeah, this, I'm very Dutch in this way or that way?
Well, I'm direct, but I'm also particularly not as good in in small talk or really outgoing. It's a weird because and when I'm on stage I do it and I'm welcome everybody and how are you doing, and oh my god, I had this great story I have to tell you. So I don't do it as much in daily life. Minimal, I guess. But I'm sort of to the point, typically Dutch.
Yeah.
But and one of the other things is like, do you have like the Dutch birthday calendar on your toilet?
We do, yes, of course. Yeah. Is that typically Dutch?
That is so Dutch.
Yeah.
And you get to write your own name when you're taking a shit, right?
That is, this is one of the reasons why I love to talk about poo, because the Dutch, it is true, and I've told this before, we make little houses of our toilets. And I've been to yours,
places.
It's like with a certain proudness, when I say to Jelka, can I go, that's the future wife, Jelka.
Yes.
Jelka, can I go to your restroom? Yeah, and there's a proudness because you open the door and then there's this beam of light coming, and then the walls are like colorful and there's all pictures. And
I appreciate that the Dutch
there are
make
books,
cozy little
there's a
bathrooms.
literature, so that you can stay in a Dutch toilet for hours if you
I
want
find
to.
that slightly disgusting, but also okay. But I don't like the encouraging of lingering. In my house, I'm like, out of the bathroom.
This is not true. I've been to your toilet and it's filled with photos, books,
It's got a lot of Polaroids.
a lot of Polaroids. And that's what we do.
One of my friends had a rule that for a year you had to say yes to every person who says, can I take a photo of you? And that results in a lot of good memories. So, yeah.
Cool.
And you put it on the toilet.
I did put on.
That is very Dutch of
I
you.
know, it is
It's also
very
where you put your prizes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you put your Oscar in the toilet?
Yes. Yeah, I think so, yeah. It would be the greatest place. I'm not gonna take it home because it was a team effort, of course.
Oh, yeah. True.
But maybe you can hold it for a while, just for the picture. Then it's
Yeah.
going to end up in the toilet, right? The picture.
Yes, of course,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, the picture's going to go in the toilet.
That's a great
for
idea.
sure.
At my parents' place, and they had it for a long time, my mother collected hotel soaps, like the tiny soaps. Everybody took it from the hotels.
My parents as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had them in little laundry nets. You have this laundry thing. They have all these nets. He collected them, and they hanged the soaps from the ceiling. And then with every birthday, people could guess how much they were. And my dad counted them, and there were, I don't know, 200 or something,
super
203.
fun.
It was sort of a pop quiz. It also had a radio, and of course the birthday calendar. Yeah.
We had a television on our in our
No, in your toilet.
Yes, we did when I was a kid, and and I all found it so normal.
In your toilet.
But we have only one in a house, maybe two when it's
I
upstairs.
feel like you guys are all going to get a lot of hemorrhoids because hanging out in a toilet.
It's the coziest place in a
True.
Dutch house.
But it always was the other way around.
What do you mean?
You don't have to, when you don't press as hard, you don't
That's true.
have hemorrhoids. But now recent studies have showed that what you said, that lingering around and, putting a lot of pressure for a long time, elongated amount of time, you do get hemorrhoids.
It's true.
Yeah.
My friend who's a doctor, after her first baby, she said that she escaped to the toilet a lot just to make her husband do baby duty. And she said, but I got free time and hemorrhoids.
And
you know what the thing is? You say, the poo thing, and I don't like to talk about bowel movements, but now we're talking about it. I see your eyes light up.
True.
Yeah,
It's
there's
because
sparkle.
It's
That's
so
the-
unusual for me. I feel so liberated
That's
to
the
be
big
able.
difference between Dutch people, I think.
True.
We just talk about it.
You talk
Also
about
with comedy,
everything.
what we discussed, we
And
just
you're-
say it.
You're right.
We don't
and
have to-
I do think if I'm
it's not a-
retrospective, I do think that's why I didn't like Dutch comedy because I found it a bit confronting at first.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable. Also, the graphicness around sex. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
My virgin ears.
Yeah. I've learned a new word,
Someone
hemorrhoids.
who
That
was in
is
a cat suit, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's only for slutty Halloween.
Yeah.
hemorrhoids. That is aanbijen, I presume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to end this episode with that word.
Aanbijen and aardbeien.
Yeah.
It's just one letter difference.
Yes.
But aardbeien is strawberries.
Strawberries.
And aanbijen is hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Aanbijen is hemorrhoids, and they're one letter different.
Aardbeien is
Yes. Oh, okay, you don't want to make
Strawberries.
that mistake when you're speaking Dutch.
this kind of look alike, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, that is just horrendous. And I love that.
Ooh, the visual. We're going to end on that visual. Wow.
Okay, thank you so much for joining our episode, Henry.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And keep us posted. We will know. If you guys win the Oscar, the whole of the Netherlands will know.
Yeah.
Because it does not happen that much.
It's a big deal.
And now it's like, I'm Not a Robot, but also a Dutch short animated movie is also
That's true.
nominated.
Nina
So,
Gans, yeah.
And
yeah.
I want you guys to really brag about it when you win. Because
That's a
the
good-
Dutch are
yeah.
so humble.
Yeah.
Please brag. Put it everywhere.
Yeah.
And that is weird about the Dutch,
Yeah, but
that
it's a
we
big
don't want to brag,
accomplishment.
but we are loud.
Yeah,
Like-
you are loud, especially you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.